Hi, I'm Brian Van from SportBikeTrackGear.com. I'm here today with a good friend of mine, Joe Kraft from Witchkraft Motorsports. How you doing, Joe?
Good, Brian. Yourself?
I am all right. We have partnered up for our Öhlins products with Joe, and there's a reason for that. This isn't like a slip-on exhaust system where you just get it, you open the box, you follow the instructions, you put it on, it's going to work perfect. It's as designed. This stuff is different. We're all different weights, sizes. We have different riding styles, different motorcycles. So if you look on our site, you're going to see with the shocks and the fork kits, all these things, we ask questions. We collect information, right? So that when you're making that purchase, we have your riding style, right? Your weight, those things. We give that information to Joe. He uses that with his knowledge, and I'm sure some literature from Ohlins too, blends everything together. And we get you the right spring rates, all the things that you need, put a good baseline in the part to make sure that you're going to have a good experience with it. And oftentimes there's service after the sale.
Absolutely, yes. As any good product should be, whether it's changing the oil on your car or with your suspension on the bike, you always want to maintain it properly. Changing oil once a season, I think, is a minimum of a good idea, especially if you do a lot of track days. Even just riding on the street, things get dirty. You'd be surprised at some of these that I take apart, how nasty the oil is inside of them. So,
especially the forks.
it's forks. Bad news on some of them, yes. It's like molasses inside. So.
That's nice. Let's talk why. I mean, hey man, my bike had forks on it, right? I had a shock on my bike. It's brand new. It's good stuff, isn't it?
Yeah, it's
Why
true.
should I put Öhlins on it?
Well, like any production vehicle, I think, the manufacturers put it together to suit the masses, and so it's not real specific in its capabilities. The Öhlins products give you a lot more adjustability. The degree of research and development that goes into the Öhlins stuff, I think, is probably not surpassed by anybody. And of course, the quality of the components. They have the pistons, the little bands, the O-rings, and all the shims that go into them are just the best there is. I've actually measured them, some of the shims, against stock components I've taken apart, and stock components will vary in thickness, a few thousandths of a millimeter here and there. The Öhlins stuff is always right on perfect the way it comes from the factory. So.
And this isn't the type of thing that you only have to do if you're going to be racing a motorcycle or riding a motorcycle on track days. Changing the stock components for the Öhlins stuff, even for street riders, can make your ride a whole lot better.
Oh, absolutely. I put an adjustable shock on my BMW just to have the opportunity to play with compression and rebound. It makes a tremendous difference just on a street bike, a heavy street bike, but it helps a lot, definitely.
And the heavier it is, the harder it is to control that oscillation of that spring. It's hard on the component.
You need a stiffer spring for the more weight, and the more spring you get, the more rebound damping you need. So there's a lot of variations that go into getting the bike comfortable, both on the street and on the track.
For a street rider too, I don't know that most street riders would begin, hey, I just got a brand new bike like we've done with our Öhlins or our STG project bike. That's only going to get ridden on the racetrack, at least for this year until somebody wins it. I need that stuff out there. The stock stuff, what typically happens on the track is it overheats, especially the shock, in a handful of laps, and then it can't control the oscillation of that spring like it should anymore.
Again, it goes back to the consistency, I think, in manufacturing. The stock shock, once it's out on the track for a while, it overheats, and those shims just don't perform as they did when they were cold. Damping characteristics change, and you're going to feel that out on the track. So.
And the other thing that's going to feel it is your tires.
True.
When you're out on the track, and what's the most the biggest cost
expendable
is tires.
Yeah. Definitely it should make an improvement in the longevity of your tires, and obviously in your lap times, and you're having fun on the track. So.
And now here's the intangible, right? I mean, look at this thing, seriously.
Yes.
I mean, it's gorgeous. I mean, it's artwork, and you know what? I mean, I don't want to sound so superficial, but man, when you put this on the back of the bike, it looks great. I'm sorry.
It's a psychological.
It is. It is.
Twist the throttle.
Right. We all love to customize our bike, and make it look a certain way, even for a street rider. And the cool part is, say you got a bike, it's 3-4 years old, whatever, and you decide, hey, I'm going to upgrade the suspension. You get the bling factor, plus you get the performance factor, which is really nice. Now let's talk about installation of parts, say cartridge kits or fork kits.
Fork piston kits, kind of an entry-level Öhlins product, which can make a tremendous change in your forks. I have them on my race bike myself. Whether installing the piston kit or a cartridge kit, my labor rate is $180 to do it, so I think that's more than reasonable considering the investment in tools that you need to do it properly. And again, you have the ability to contact me later to get advice on adjusting them. So
That's the invaluable part, right? You do it yourself, you're swimming in your own pool. You know what I mean? You have Joe do it and you're having an issue with the bike handling and you want to ask some questions and get some feedback and get a direction to go in because you're not sure yourself. He's going to do that for you. I mean, that's part of his service. The other thing is it takes a lot of tools to pull these things off. We have a video that we did installing a 30 mil kit in the R1 project bike. And we counted up, there's over $1,000 worth of tools easily needed to put that cartridge kit in, plus the experience, the knowledge. $180, a little bit of shipping, and all the worries are gone.
I understand the racer wanting to do it himself and learn about that stuff, and certainly that's a valid point. But I think there's a certain degree of expertise of having the right tools, having the right oil, fluids, and greases to just get the maximum benefit out of the product. So
it's important. I wrenched for 20 years on Cadillacs at a high level. I'm a good mechanic. There's 2 things on my bikes that I don't do. Actually 3, the dyno thing, but no, I don't have a dyno. So I don't do my own suspension.
Get one of those.
I don't want one. I'd be out there all the time playing around trying to build the perfect map. I don't do my own suspension components. I'll install them. Like after Joe's done the forks or done my shock, I'll put them on the bike. That's not a problem. Okay? And I don't do my own engines because I think both of those things really they require special tools, special knowledge that just go beyond the skill set that I have, and they're both so important to what I want to do and to my, this is my enjoyment when I'm out on the racetrack, and I want it to go well. I want my bike to handle well, I want the motor to run well, so I leave those things to the professionals. What I would encourage all of you to do, just spend the $180, right? Once a year, once a season, you can get a hold of us. We'll get you in contact with Joe. You can actually ship the stuff into our warehouse if you want. Joe comes over and gets it, redoes the shock. We ship it, we get it back out to you. I mean, it's pretty seamless. Try and plan for the off season, get the stuff to him. He does a great job. We obviously have a lot of trust for him because we're partnered up with him. He's got a ton of experience in this.
And the 180 is for the installation initially of a cartridge kit or the piston kit. To just service your forks, to take them apart, clean them, and put new fluid in is actually 150, and to service a shock is 75. So
it doesn't get much more affordable. I mean,
that's what I'm hoping.
Yeah, those are great prices, and you're still getting. I mean, this guy's got a ton of experience. I explained it before. His son is an absolute racing addict. I'm pretty sure his motorcycle is actually in his bedroom right now, and Joe has all along the way with Eddie, and Eddie's done AMA stuff. They've had another rider in the AMA get a top 10 in Daytona sport bike in Mid-Ohio. All along the way, besides doing the stuff for his own riding and racing, he has been developing Eddie's bikes and adjusting Eddie's bikes. And I've met a lot of riders. Eddie is very particular.
Yeah, he can be a problem sometime, but
you've learned a lot.
We've learned a lot. He's a great competitor, and it's fun working with him.
Oh, he's won a lot of races, yeah, there's no doubt. But a big component of that has been, without you there, I don't think that he would have done good, but he wouldn't have done the same.
Possibly. I don't want to blow my own horn too much, but like I said, he's very accomplished and able to get the results he needs on his own. It's just nice to be there with him. So.
You got to have that tuner, though. It's really important. So that's what I'm trying to broadcast, is that you can have all that experience, all that knowledge. Just send the parts to us and we get them to Joe. All right, that is our Öhlins overview. We just want to talk a little bit about why you would put the parts on the bike, the benefits you can enjoy, and then of course we really want to encourage y'all, use Joe's service. Great prices, great guy, great quality. I'm Brian Van.
Thanks, Brian.
Thanks, Joe.
Good to see you.